Miss Goldenweek's Operation. Meet Baroque Works. This cover story is set between the events of Alabaster Arc and the events of Impelled Down Arc. Our story starts all the way back on Little Garden. If you remember, Little Garden is a type of prehistoric island with dinosaurs and a giant story and Baroque. This was the second island the Straw Hats visited in the Grand Line. It is also where they had their first real encounter with Baroque work officer agents. The Straw Hats defeated Miss Goldenweek, Mr. Free, Mr. Five, and Miss Valentine. As we all know, Mr. Free eventually fled Little Garden, leaving the other three agents stranded on the island. Here we have Miss Goldenweek buying a newspaper from a news coup on the coast of Little Garden. She returns to the wax house, and together with the other agents, Mr. Five and Miss Valentine, they discover that Baroque Works has been defeated, and the identity of Mr. Zero, their boss, and the other officer agents are revealed to them for the first time. Upon reading this news, Miss Goldenweek packs her things with the intent to turn herself in and go to prison like her Baroque Works colleagues. Clearly, Mr. Five and Miss Valentine are against this idea. Using her color trap ability, she befriends a pterodactyl, who gives Miss Goldenweek and her friends a lift off the island. If you didn't know, Miss Goldenweek is not a devil fruit user. The trio finally depart from Little Garden, passing Dory on their way out. The giants Dory and Baroque continue with their duel on Little Garden the following day, with the eruption of the nearby volcano signaling the start of it. Moving back to Miss Goldenweek's group, the trio have been caught up in a storm that is slowly washing away the color trap on the pterodactyl. The pterodactyl comes back to its senses and drops them on a nearby island named Vacation Island. Despite suffering from some injuries due to the fall, Miss Goldenweek goes and buys 3 ice creams from a nearby stand. However, Mr. Five and Miss Valentine are trying to be cautious due to the presence of the Marines on the island. Captain Hina, also known as Black Cage Hina, is vacationing on the same island while also looking for the remaining Baroque work agents. This explains the Marine presence, and we also see Django and Full Body there, with Django holding and looking at a picture of Mr. Free. While enjoying their ice cream, Miss Goldenweek's group stumble upon a bounty poster of Mr. Two. It appears that Mr. Two has escaped from prison and is on the run. The three realize that the Marines may recognize them, so they disguise themselves to hopefully blend in and not to be noticed. However, as we can see here, the unlockies of Baroque Works were captured and were forced to draw images of all the agents. As a result, Hina sees through the trio's disguise. Hina attacks them and binds Miss Valentine. Using one of Mr. Five's attack as a smokescreen, the remaining 2 escape. Miss Valentine was not able to make use of the smokescreen and was instead captured by Hina. The Marines make an announcement that they will execute Miss Valentine's if Miss Goldenweek, Mr. Five, and Mr. Three turn themselves in. The images are also shown to the public. Clearly the 2 are shocked by the turn of events. We finally see Mr. Free again, only to see him trying to escape off Vacation Island. However, just as he tries to depart, a mysterious figure appears, telling him to stop. This person is revealed to be Mr. Two, and they have a confrontation. Miss Goldenweek and Mr. Five sneakily make their way to the Western Docks, where Miss Valentine is supposed to be executed. They watch from a distance as Miss Valentine screams for help. To the Marines' surprise, a cart rolls in with a tied-up Mr. Free. So it seems that Mr. Two defeated Mr. Free only to turn him over to the Marines. However, it was in fact Mr. Two disguised as Mr. Free. He suddenly escapes and starts attacking the Marines in hopes of rescuing Miss Valentine. In this shot, we see him defeating Full Body. After defeating most of the Marines, he faces off against Hina for a second time. In the distance, Mr. Five and Miss Goldenweek watch in shock. Mr. 2 attacks Hina, however his leg gets binded by Hina's ability. As this is happening, Miss Valentine's is rescued by Miss Goldenweek and Mr. 5, and in the background we see Mr. 2 as if celebrating this small victory as he tries to hold Hina back. Using her color trap of betrayal, Miss Goldenweek uses Hina's ship to escape Vacation Island along with Miss Valentine and Mr. 5. Mr. 2 and Mr. 3 are not aboard. Oddly, the trio make their way to a marine prison island. Using her ability again, Miss Goldenweek and friends pretend to be caught and head into the jail. This jail happens to hold the other Baroque work agents. Here we see Crocodile, also known as Mr. 0, and we also see Mr. 1 and Mr. 4. Miss Doublefinger and Miss Merry Christmas are in another cell, and we see here that Miss Goldenweek and Miss Valentine's are freeing them, after which they head to free the men. From there they blow a hole in the wall of the prison using Mr. 4's gun and escape. However, Crocodile refuses to escape as he doesn't feel like it. Mr. 1 decides to stay with him. As the rest escape, Miss Goldenweek uses all her color traps at once in a strange whirl of color in hopes to grant everyone their wish. Miss Merry Christmas turns into a princess, Miss Goldenweek into a world-class painter, and Miss Doublefinger as a cafe or bartender. Miss Valentine transforms into a cake maker, Mr. 5 turns into a fireman, Mr. 4 turns into a pizza delivery man, and his gun, who has the name of Lasso, turns into a tank. This effect reaches the prison, and Crocodile turns into the Pirate King, while Mr. 1 turns into a hero. Mr. 1 doesn't show any outward expression, as he seems to be happy inside. Some time passes, and the escapees discover an abandoned house in the desert, or the wilderness. Working together, they open the Spider's Cafe, and here they seem happy and living out their dream, and this is indeed the last time we see them. Back at the prison, Mr. 2 and Mr. 3 are thrown into the same cell as Crocodile and Mr. 1 after being captured by Hina. Mr. 0, 1, 2 and 3 all head to the greatest and most feared prison, Impel Down.